among students like this, but even among academic staff, because you think about a career. Now, I spent 40 years at Moratua. There is no way I can be the top academic for 40 years running. There's absolutely no way, right? Because younger people are always going to be better than you, right? And I think Moratua recognizes young academics who do well. I'm not sure whether that is true in all universities and all faculties, right? So we must try to strive for this meritocracy, because that is a gift that we can give to the rest of the country also, right? The university's contribution to the rest of the country is its emphasis on meritocracy, right? Let me finish with two images and a quote, right? So Ranga was here, he has gone, right? Right. So Ranga tells me that, he came back after his PhD, and sometimes, for some reason, somebody sent him to me, or he came to meet me and just asked about research in general. And he says that I told him, make sure that your ladder is not leaning against the wrong wall. I can't remember telling him that, but he remembers, right? So I think when we are doing research, there may be various short-term objectives we have, get yourself into Google Scholar or do this or do that. I think we need to be honest about the inquiry that we do and, the ultimate objectives that we have, right? Otherwise, if we just pursue short-term objectives, then we might make sure, we might be having our ladder on the wrong wall. For example, if everybody here said, well, there is no point publishing in conferences because the UGC promotion scheme gives me only 1 mark, right? So people who are publishing and, struggling to publish in these high-impact conferences may not be getting value for money for their efforts. But 10 years from now, things might change. Things might change, right? So we have to be honest, and we have to do the difficult things. The chances are, the difficult things are the things that you will get ultimate credit for. So make sure your ladder is not leaning against the wrong wall. The second thing that I have used in some of these research, what shall I say, seminars, I mean, is like, to motivate people. Research motivation seminars, not that I have done many of them, is to talk about this graduated staircase, right? So this staircase is supposed to be that, this is slightly smaller than that, and this is slightly smaller than that. So if you have 4 inches here, this may be 5 inches there, and each one there is 0.1 inch of a change, right? So now if you think about a little frog here, right? Say maybe this is a frog who has got a PhD or whatever it is, right? Okay. And the frog can maybe just jump to this one, right? So all PhDs can do that, right? But your career is 40 years. If you really strive hard, you might be able to get to 4.2 inches, right? And if you really work hard, you might become a frog who can actually jump 5 inches, in which case you will be very much higher than a frog who has just only got a PhD, right? Okay? So that's one way to look at this, right? Of course, there are many other pressures we have in life, and, getting to the top of the staircase may not be our only goal, right? So you might think, okay, I have various other things, I have various, different people have different sort of priorities and objectives in life, right? So you might see somebody right on this top staircase, and don't worry so much about it, because although the person is right at the top, he can only jump 20% more than you can jump, right? It's just that the staircase is stacked against you, like, So you can use that story in both those different ways. But I encourage you to push yourself if you can, right? Because then, you can end up at the top of the graduated staircase. Now, Ranga just missed the story about him, but anyway, it doesn't matter. You can listen to the recording. Right. So, this is a quote from G.H. Hardy. This is for people who do research in mathematics. I don't know if any of you are there, right? Here. I have talked a lot, perhaps rightly so, coming from an engineering faculty and also a faculty like Moratua, which does not have any non-professional courses, right? I think that's also something that we have decided to do, right? So we don't have a science faculty, we don't have an arts faculty, but we had an engineering and architecture faculty. It has become IT and business and now medicine, and have I missed anything? Yeah, so all professional courses, right? And so doing useful things, right? Now there's a fellow called Hardy, who is a person actually who invited this mathematician, Indian mathematician Ramanujan, to come and work with him in Cambridge, right? He said, I have never done anything useful. No discovery of mine has made or is likely to make, directly or indirectly, for good or ill, the least difference to the amenity of the world. Right? This is in his autobiography, A Mathematician's Apology. Right? Now, if you look at it, modern cryptography is based solidly on the kind of number theory problems that G.H. Hardy was working on. Right? So that's amazing. Right? That's the nature of research. Right? Some people think that this is evidence for God because God made our minds and God made the world and there is an interconnection. Other people think this is an argument for evolution because our minds evolved from the world and therefore our minds, there is a link to the rest of the world. So I'm not going to decide between those two views. But it's amazing. I mean, things that we do with our minds have that kind of correspondence to the world, even if we are not sort of trying to make a direct relevance or impact on the world, right? But whatever you do, whatever you are doing, I'm sure Morutu has a great future because all of you all are there, so obviously, right? So all the best. Thank you for asking me to give this talk. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor, for that insightful speech and also reflecting on our 50 years of excellence on research as well as bridging past and future. So our next segment is Q&A session. So I would like to invite our audience to raise your questions. I believe Professor Priyandas is ready to answer any questions. So if you have any questions, please raise.
You can ask some questions and all of us can try to answer it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's, but I don't know whether. Maybe we can have the questions during tea time or something like that.
So again, our keynote speaker, Professor Priyandas, I would like to invite you again to the stage. And also, I honorably invite Deputy Vice Chancellor, Architect, Dr. D.P. Chandrasekhara, to present a token of appreciation to our honorable guest of the occasion, Professor Priyandas. Thank you, sir. Next, we are presenting a glimpse of Research Week 2022, which shows research highlights at University of Moratuwa. Research Digest is the printed output of Research Week 2022, signifying the cutting-edge work carried out within different research groups of University of Moratuwa and the ongoing research of our postgraduate research scholars. It embarks the quality of research delivered by University of Moratuwa, and it presents the gists of its output. I kindly invite Chairperson of the Research Week 2022, Professor Udayangani Kulatunga, to present copies of the Research Digest to Deputy Vice Chancellor, University of Moratuwa, Architect Dr. D.P. Chandrasekhara, former Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Mahanama, and our guest of honor, keynote speaker, Professor Priyan Dias, to accept our Research Digest. Thank you all. Research Week 2022 is another historical and prominent event in the university calendar, and it became more important with the celebration of 50 years of excellence of its journey. It is our duty to signify the importance of Research Week. So, I graciously invite Director, Office of Research, Professor Ruwan Gopura, to provide an overview of the Research Week 2022.
Good evening, everyone. Deputy Vice Chancellor, Deans of the Faculties, and very especially Professor Priyan Dias, the keynote speaker for today. Thank you, sir, for a nice history and combining the future activities of research. And also you mentioned about the research journal. We will take in your ideas as well, and we have put the journal idea into the faculties as well. So my task today is to give overview of the Research Week of 2020. 2020, our theme is connecting academic practitioners and and society. And specifically for this year, we have a separate theme. We call the sub-theme toward the crisis-resilient research frontiers, because considering the current situation of the country, we have this kind of a sub-topic. I will briefly go through the Research Week activities. And this is the Research Week at a glance. We have, even though we mention it as Research Week, we have 8 days, starting from today to 9th of December. And we have, we don't have any activity on December 4th. And in the Research Week, this time we have new activities like 3-minute thesis competition, and also we have some other activities related to lab walkthrough in foreign universities. And the Research Week consists of three conferences and 1 symposium, 3 conferences from IT faculty, Faculty of Architecture, and also from the Faculty of Business. Of course, today we started in the morning Faculty of Business International Conference. And also we have Engineering Research Unit Symposium. Of course, engineering faculty, we have a separate conference we call the MACON, which has the highest H5 index up to now in the Sri Lankan context, which is happening in separately because of the logistic issues, as well as in the December, a lot of similar topic conferences are there. Therefore, the main conference of engineering faculty scheduled in June, July. And of course, we started with the business faculty conference in the first day, and we just witnessed the keynote speech of Professor Priyan Dias. And day 2 and day 3, which is 2nd and 3rd December, we have FARU 2022, which is the 15th International Research Conference of the Faculty of Architecture, which is, I think, now Scopus Index Conference. And day 4, which is 5th of December, we have the postgraduate day, which include several activities, especially for the postgraduate students, as well as, of course, the academics can attend those activities. We have keynote speech from Professor Ranjit Senaratna, chairman of NSF. In addition to that, we have some other activities which are really helpful for the researchers for the dissemination and writing of their work. And also we have new activity that I mentioned, the 3-minute thesis competition, and also a panel discussion on how to become an effective researcher. And day 5, 6th of December, we have several activities, actually, which is the busiest day of this research week. We have undergraduate research showcase of different faculties, and success stories of undergraduate and postgraduate students, and academia-industry linkage, showcasing the works of academia-industry linkage, and research corner, and several other activities related to research. And also important activities, the panel discussion. We have an eminent panel discussing about how we need to do research differently at the university to bring a wider socio-economic impact to Sri Lanka, which is a timely topic, which is happening at Town and Country Planning Building Auditorium on 6th of December, 3 p.m. to 4:30. And also success stories to showcase the journey of our postgraduate, undergraduate students who have succeeded in the diversified aspect of the research. And then the same day, 5th day, we have the undergraduate research showcase, which showcase the undergraduate research and projects work from different faculties. Of course, since we still do not have the projects from the medical faculty, we have not included anything from the medical faculty, but all other faculties' undergraduate work is covered during this undergraduate research showcase. And day 6, 7th of December, we have the ICITR, which is the 7th International Conference on Information Technology Research, which is again a Scopus Index conference, because they have received the IEEE technical co-sponsorship. Day 7, which is 8th of December, again we have ICITR and Engineering Research Unit Symposium, ERU. Day 8, which is the last day, we have the 9th December, we have again the International Conference on Information Technology Research. In addition to that, we have workshop on research ethics from ERC of the University of Moratuwa, and also inaugural lecture will be there. So this is the overview of the activities of the research week. Unlike in last time, we now have all the support from different faculty, including the medical faculty, but still we don't have any kind of a symposium from the medical faculty. Probably when it comes to next year, they will develop a symposium for their activities, research activities, and we sincerely hope their collaboration for our work. And thank you very much, and enjoy the activities of 2022 Research Week of the University of Moratuwa. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for providing informative overview of the Research Week 2022. As we are concluding today's session and inviting all of you to be present at our Research Week 2022, starting from today onwards and will be continued till 9th December. I would like to thank our keynote speaker, Professor Priyan Dias, for gracing this event, and also special invitees of the Research Week 2022, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Deans, and all other staff members who are present today to grace this event. Thank you all for your participation. So I guarantee that upcoming days will be a memorizing period for all of you, with full of knowledge and experience. Thank you all. Have a great week ahead.